Do you find yourself in a constant cycle of love and breakups? Well, stick around for the final part in our series about relationships as we explore the pitfalls of committed relationships. Next on Views and Vibes.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
One of my favorite phrases is, relationships take hard work, but relationships aren't meant to be hard. Many of us constantly sabotage our relationships with our insecurities, our need to control others, our selfishness, and so on. But many of us rarely recognize our faults in that demise. Joining us again for part 2 in our relationship series to talk about the pitfalls of committed relationships are relationship mentor and talk show host, Miss Nicole Turner, host and moderator of the Love Lounge, Mr. Jamal Muhammad, and author of the book, Why I Love Men, The Joys of Dating, is DC's own dating diva, Miss JJ Smith. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys, changed clothes and everything.
Yeah. How about that?
But so in the last segment, we talked about dating and the pitfalls of dating and the mistakes people make. Let's move forward to relationships. You're done dating, somebody's courted you, now you guys in that boyfriend, girlfriend, romantic phase. What are some of the mistakes and missteps that people make as they're transitioning into the relationship before they even get deep into it?
Now that I have him or her, I don't have to continue to do the things I did to get him or her.
Right, right.
I don't have to take you out. I don't have to court you. I can walk around with my rollers in my hair,
Right.
my flannel pajamas. I don't need to look sexy for you. I got you.
Right. So you forget the things that even got you to that point. Okay, what else?
Yeah, and it goes the same for the men too, but it's one of those things where, like you said, now that I got you, I'm gonna kick back, lay back, and just do my thing. But I think one of the problems is we do have to understand that there are differences between men and women. We're not the same, and I think we have these gender issues today where we don't understand that women are women, they're going to do what they like to do, and men
Like
are
what?
men.
Like what?
Okay, perfect example is something as simple as watching television shows. Okay, now me personally, I can't stand like reality shows. I can't stand dating shows and things like that, and women love them. And I'm not going to knock them for that because that's their choice.
Is that true, Nicole? I don't like them.
I don't watch them.
Well, a lot of women will because obviously, if you look at the commercials, they're marketing towards women on these commercials.
That's fair.
All right. So, but I love football. I love sports.
We love
football. That's what
I got
We'll
105
talk about
screens
that.
just for that.
We're going to debunk all these myths you have about women right
And
now.
that's cool. But I love sports. I love action movies and things like, typical testosterone motivated
blowing
type
up
of
stuff.
things. Right.
But there are
exactly.
things you know about each other from dating before you even get into a relationship.
Right, but then when you get into the relationships,
it's different.
You all of a sudden change, and it's like, well, I know like some women they do things that make the man conform to what they like. Like I forget the movie with Vince Vaughn and what's the chick?
Was it The Breakup?
The Breakup?
The
I think
Breakup.
called
It's
The
like,
Breakup.
why would you want me to want to wash the dishes or something? I can't, And he's like, why would anybody want to do that? Because like, I want you to want to wash this. And it was like,
Why would I want to watch
right? Why would I want to watch the dishes? Right. And it's like you kind of want to make them do certain things, and it's like I didn't do that before, so now why are you trying to make me do that? And I know even from my past relationships and even my marriage, it's like that. The other thing is we kind of put the pressure on, oh, now that we're together, we can't have friends anymore. And that's a big mistake, you know. Like, yo, you can't go out with the boys anymore, or you can't go out with the girls anymore. Now, that doesn't mean you're supposed to be going out every week clubbing and everything.
Right.
Like,
Recognize you're actually in a relationship. You should spend more time with that person.
But you should still have fun with those people that you used to have fun with when you met.
So don't give up your life. You're not giving up your entire life.
Exactly.
All right. So what are some expectations that people have now that they're in a relationship with somebody?
Well, I think just to kind of piggyback on what he's saying, I think you know, there's all type of love relationships. What happens is, I always say, you know, that romantic love is an illusion in a sense, because, you know, you think you met Prince Charming and you're putting so much pressure on him for your happiness. And so the reality is, you know, we need a love of God, we need love of family and friends, and if we don't have balance in our relationship, and if we look to that person to really fulfill us and to create all the love relationships and friendships we need, it's just going to be an unrealistic expectation. The other thing too is, I think we have to realize that, you know, that sometimes that spark begins to fade and we move from kind of maybe that passion and lust, and it becomes more friendship and companionship. And I think, you know, we have to be realistic to think that one person is going to meet all of our you know, our physical, emotional, intellectual, sexual, all of our needs for our entire lifetime is unrealistic. So you have to create balance and keep other friends and keep other relationships active in your life. And then that way, it won't be such a burden on your mate.
So why do people even do that? Why do people invest so much of themselves into somebody else and expect them to do the same thing, as opposed to maintain their friendships, continue to have those conversations with their family, going out and doing other things?
That passion and love is a powerful thing.
So it fools them. Now you're just
it's
being
an
fooled
illusion,
by it.
right? It's an illusion. It's not real because it's not sustainable over the long term.
It's like a drug.
Yeah,
it's like you get that high, but the high doesn't last forever.
No, and
you gotta
no
come
high
back down to
does.
earth, and yet you still want that same feeling. It's like you can't always be all the way up on cloud 9 all the time. Sometimes you got to get down here with the rest of the folks. And
do you find that that breaks the relationship faster because that person realizes that they're not getting all the fulfillment from one person?
I think it builds up resentment.
Okay.
And once the resentment is there, the relationship starts to break down. And then because there's a lack of communication about the resentment and the issues, causes an even greater breakdown within the relationship.
You know, the other thing is, how do you handle adversities when they come? You know, like, because when you're in the courting stage and everything, and then in the honeymoon stage of everything, everything is perfect.
Right.
But like I said, we're in a recession. Say your partner loses a job, and now, you know, y'all dating, you got to kind of carry the weight, and money becomes a big problem. Especially for black men. I can't speak for y'all on it, but I know as a black man, money is like a big issue because, you know, we got the highest unemployment rate in the country and everything. So sometimes so much pressure comes on us, and if we lose a job, we may sometimes even put too much pressure on ourselves, like, oh God, I think she's gonna leave me. You know what I mean? Because you know, but some of it is justified because, you know, we're men and we're supposed to be the providers and things like that, and we don't want to come off as unattractive, like we can't handle our business. But any type of adversity, I mean, you know, you could have a death in the family, God forbid, or anything like that, and a person might have to go through some serious emotional changes for a time period. I just had a friend who had that happen to. His girlfriend dumped him because he was going through some stuff because he had a death in his family. And her excuse was, you just were too
checked out,
down, and it was pulling me down. And I was like, but dang, that's when you needed her the most, you know what I mean? And, and, you know, so it's things like that. Like, you got to be ready to handle adversities when they come. If you really like the person, it's like, yo, I'm going to be there for you, not for me, but for you, you know. So I think that's one of the other mistakes.
And I hear it a lot from guys. One of the biggest issues they have with women is that they don't feel like they have a support system. It's not like they're looking for a mama, but when they're in a relationship, they want to know that their mate has their back. When they're going through something, they want to know their mate is there, not going to make them feel worse about what they're going through.
Well, we have to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about why people hold on for so long when they know the relationship is already over. So we'll be right back after this.
Wow.